Hello, welcome to this C+ session. We will investigate how the power flow display works in C+. Based on a simple example. This simple example is a sound transmission loss panel embedded in the concrete wall. As you can see here, call for the shape display, then you can have a better view of the actual model. An emitter cavity, concrete wall, coupled to the test panel, which is 1 mm aluminum panel, but on which a trim has been set up. The trim is seen here on the side plus, 2-layer treatment, fiber 30 mm, and 6 panel as hard rubber. The direction is Z plus regarding local normal of the panel. You can click here to see this normal. And this is a receiver panel. So very simple problem. Shift back to the icon view. This icon view simulates the subsystem coupling in a more understanding way. Emitter, receiver, panel, connection between panel here, and radiation loss factor through coupling loss factor between emitter, panel, and receiver. In that particular case, the top model, I have enabled the non-resonant pass energy in both aluminum test panel and panel. And in the second model, I have disabled the non-resonant pass in both panels. You can see. And enable an extra connection directly connecting the two cavities, which is the well-known Maslow connection. That here, the non-resonant energy as resonant energy between the two cavities. Now, before to go further, we have to solve this model. I see a solve. And we will try to interpret what is the origin of transmission loss and the origin of the pressure, and what are the main dominating parameter when I will try to control the pressure inside the cavity. So, problem is solved. I can compare first these two pressure. I just for the local menu, plot and plot engineering unit. This is the pressure, mean pressure in the two receiver cavity. This is the pressure created by the second bottom model here. So panel is radiating into cavity as well as Maslow connection. And this is the sum of all pass we see that create the pressure, and this is the result given by non-resonant pass energy when it is enabled. In fact, the energy, the non-resonant energy, which is shared by the Maslow, is just transferred to the panel, so the non-resonant mode of the panel are radiating inside the cavity, and this energy is added to the resonant energy added by the mode of the panel. From what pass this pressure is derived, it can be understood by looking at the power flow. Well, the best way is first to look at the spectrum generally. Then we go to graph power flow input to subsystem, clicking on the receiver cavity, and we see three total energies, so the total power input, summing all pass, and the pass, the energy sent by the concrete wall, and the aluminum panel to the receiver cavity. So we can unclick there, and if I click on all the other paths, this is the elementary source. So this is resonant energy sent by the concrete wall. So the white energy sent by the concrete wall, power radiated by the concrete wall, resonant mode. Here it's a power, here, the power radiated by the resonant mode of the test panel, and this is energy radiated by the non-resonant energy of the wall, and B here the non-resonant energy of the test panel, which fill the gap here, which is the most dominating sources over mid frequency, as you can see. Then in brief, the red energy is mostly always neglectable, very low. So mostly here we have three main contributions. So low, mid, and high frequency. Low frequency contribution, it's a resonant mode of the concrete panel. That means it is driven by the damping of the concrete wall. And you can play on the damping of the concrete wall to reduce this noise emission. Here it is driven by the non-resonant energy of the test panel. So this non-resonant energy, per definition, is not resonant, so it's not driven by the damping at all. It's driven by the mass of the test panel. So the only capability you have is either to increase the mass of the panel or have a trim with more performance, because this mass law is going through the trim. And the last pass is a direct radiation of resonant mode of the test panel, against depending on the damping which is available on the test panel itself, already well damped by the tree. So you have three main paths. If we look at the power flow input in receiver cavity, looking at the result given by the second model, where the mass law is explicitly modeling the non-resonant transfer of energy, the model is a bit less informative because we cumulate the mass law of both concrete plate and test plate, so all results are embedded together. And we can see there is two main paths, the non-resonant and the resonant in that case. We can do the same visualization using the diagram frequency per frequency. Because non-resonant energy and resonant energy are shared by the panel, when the non-resonant path is enabled, we have split the draw power flow into two different power flow, where we can see only the power flow due to the resonant energy, and the power flow is made of two different menus. Draw power flow F, which means flexural, related to the white energy exchange between panel and cavity, and the draw power flow BR as black, red, due to the non-resonant energy exchange by cavity and panel. So typically resonant and non-resonant power flow. The resonant power flow is working that way. You select a frequency band in which you want to see the power balance, and dynamic range. The dynamic range is starting from the maximum power flow, which is at 0 dB, minus some dynamic in dB, 40 dB. So you, for example, the lowest level you can see, which is written here, is minus 45 dB, the maximum level. It's why here we don't see any power flow from the concrete to receiver cavity. So if I expand to 90 dB, I will see all the corresponding arrow in between the two models. The difference between these two models are obvious here. If I move a bit this panel, you see that here you see only the resonant energy. Resonant energy is shared among the panel here, Miller way. Here you can see directly the non-resonant energy going from one cavity to another. Here you cannot see directly it because it will superimpose to the resonant transmission, so we can see the complementary part in this diagram, draw power flow BR. Again at 1000 Hertz for a given dynamic 90 dB. For a given dynamic 90 dB, and because there is no non-resonant energy, it is disabled. See, you can only see the non-resonant energy when the non-resonant paths have been enabled. So you can see that for the non-resonant energy, the panel loses its non-resonant energy both sides in the receiver and emitter cavity. Why? Because in fact, in that case, pressure, so the resonant pressure, is creating wall pressure here, which excites the non-resonant mode of the panels, and the panel non-resonant mode are radiating back their energy in the emitter-receiver cavity. So the source is directly transferred from the cavity to the excited panel. And the panel is really the source of non-resonant energy in that particular case. Is a non-SEA equilibrium. It's just a constraint response of the panel non-resonant mode submitted to the wall pressure of the white energy of the cavity. And we found exactly in each frequency band the origin of noise, which is coming from the panel at high frequency, as if we plot it clear. And if I look at resonant energy, it's also obvious, 20 kilohertz, that energy is coming always from the panel. Sorry. Resonant one, okay, in order to see maximum frequency for a given dynamic, all the features. In that case, I've put many paths, so I can set the scale. For example, I can go from 10 dB to 10 dB, and taking less paths, 10 paths, for example, so I will have 100 dynamic range available. So here I have less setting, less choice, and 100 dynamic is enough to scan the range of power, which can be, in brief, can be seen on this graph. The dynamic range, observable dynamic range is 20 dB per here, 20, 40, 60, more than 100, and you have 120 if you want, but in particular frequencies, the dynamic range is between 60 to 70, 80 dB, depending where you're looking. It's about more than 80 dB here. So depending where you look, you need more or less a different kind of dynamic range. All right, that's it. So in more complex situation, you can either use the power flow input plot, because you can really grasp what is the most important contribution directly from here. You can see here. You can also have a good understanding upon, in one shot, upon what are the sources. And last, if you want to confirm this, how is the circulation of energy, you can really look at the power flow diagram. Don't forget that you only need resonant energy when you enable the non-resonant energy transfer through mass law explicit coupling loss factor, but you need two power flow plots to visualize the transfer of energy with, in case of enabling the non-resonant transfer of energy, the non-resonant path in each of the subsystems. One for non-resonant, one for resonant. All right, that's it. Thank you very much.